mistake, your colleagues will correct you. That's why this team is strong.
I know that when UPND was in the opposition, their president, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, used to say that Lungu, you are traveling too much. There's a post where he said that we should be consulting UPND on how to tackle cholera, and he's doing rounds now. And what happened is that when UPND came into power, they trashed everything that we did, everything that was in existence, including government employees who were in charge of the fight against cholera. And they brought their own team. So they know better how to fight cholera. So our program was fixed when the guys took over power. So you cannot ask me what we should be doing now in the fight against cholera when the civil service has got documents of how we fought cholera and how we brought it under control, how we intended to eliminate it by 2025, and so on. So I think let's avoid this idea of trying to compare our regime with what is on the table now. Yeah. What we have is a dictatorial government, of a one-man dictator, where no one says a word, and the man gets out with everything, including the judiciary, the legislature, ECZ, and everyone. So we are alive as what is going on. We have volunteered, if you don't know. Some of our ministers who served, like the Chaluchi and others who are experts in this area of fight against cholera, they've been told, no, just keep away. This is politicizing the fight against cholera. So we are telling you that, please, let bygones be bygones. We in PF, we're not the best, but we are far much better, head and shoulder above these guys. And that's a fact. That's a fact. And we are saying, let's work together. All of you in the opposition, all stakeholder groups, let's come together. The much talked about People's Movement, which is going to give birth to the People's Alliance as a political entity, is born today. Let's put our heads together, the academia, the labor leaders, the chiefs, let's all put our heads together. Because I have interacted with the people who helped UPND come into government, and a lot of them have told me, it's not what we agreed upon. I won't mention names, but they've all come. They're part of us here. They're telling us, no. Please, we muntwale. They're the ones telling us. The people who supported HH and UPND, they're the ones in the forefront telling us that, let's get rid of this man. Can we go for an early election? It's you Zambians to tell us now that this movement should be crying for an early election if need be, because it's within your constitutional right to demand for an early election. So that's why we are coming to you as a political party to ask you to in the light of what we are seeing as Zambians, in the light of what we are experiencing as Zambians, was this man going to continue up to 2026, or can we put pressure on him to get him to accept that an early election is imperative in the country? Dr. Kaunda gave up power in 1991. He was to run for 3 more years. He himself, President HH, was on record telling people that Lungu has failed. Let's have an early election. So if you Zambians demand that we call upon HH to resign and call for an early election, but let me tell you that this technique of referring to the past won't take us anywhere. We gave up power in 2021, and the new government is in place, and we look at what the new government is doing. And because they are failing lamentably, that's why we are here. So, had we been in power, you would have asked me that question. Because a certain guy came, President HH came to fix it. He came to fix it, and he's not fixing it, and that's why we are worried. So, if we were in charge, then he would have asked me that question. But that question is conjecture, speculation, and so on. I'm not in charge. None of these colleagues is in charge. The man in charge is in State House, and you go and ask him what has gone wrong with the debt restructuring and all those things. We are saying, on behalf of the silent Zambians, we are fed up. And we are saying, guys, let's go through this and find a solution. If you care to listen to what I said on 28th October when I was remembering my president, Mr. Sata, I said democracy has diminished. The democratic space is diminishing. PF is in ruins. And I need to come back to PF and help get back PF on its feet. And my carry on call was, guys, let's work together. That's why we are here. So we are here to work at the economy, at democracy, and all those things which Zambians are complaining about. And if you read through the statement, we are saying, let's come together, put our heads together, all of us as Zambians in a movement kind of where HH to resign and go for an election. Let's go that route. But it shouldn't come from us. It should come from you. And this is exactly what we are saying. So don't personalize these things and begin saying what for cholera, the program of action for cholera fight was in place. But the man came and fixed it. He said this can work. We who know better are now in situ. We who know better, UPN, are now in situ who sort out this problem. So now you're asking me, Edgar, what would you have done? I'm no longer there, please, for goodness sake. But if I was, I would have continued that program of action which we are working on with the Ministry of Health, World Health Organization, and every other person. So, Obamwansa, Diamond TV, let's find time and chat. Because what you're asking is obviously known to everybody. They'll keep reminding you of the past. The past will not help us. The past can only be a reference point. But if you choose not to work with the past, that's it. But I am telling you that cholera was being fixed. But when the man came, he fixed the fight against cholera. And that's why I was here. So, what do you want me to do? I can only wait until I hear from you that this is how we are going to help government, the people, and so on. And as we go into the future, the people who helped bring UPND into power, who are very disappointed with how they've been betrayed by UPND, will tell us that how can we trust you that you won't betray us when you go to State House? Somebody was asking me that, and I was asking colleagues here, that let's take stock of what happens when people go to State House. Why do they change? HH has changed very quickly. He no longer picks your calls. He no longer talks to you. What guarantee is there when Saki goes to State House, he will pick our phone calls? Can we correct that so that as we take Saki to State House, we make sure he responds to our calls? Can we make sure that he remains the same friend of mine, Saki, when he's in State House? This is the challenge we face here, and the answer should come from you. Because a lot of you supported UPND, and I'm not saying you were wrong, but you didn't know that there is power in there. That power depends on who is handling it. The power that gentleman is using is the same power I had, but did you see what you're seeing now? No, because I was well brought up. I was brought up believing friends. I was brought up respecting each other. And take, for example, I was given an example. In church, I said, my good friend, GBM, is generous because he comes from the family. He grew up in a family where they taught him to love and to share, to be generous. And when he went to church, the church emphasized the need for generosity and love. And he grew up a loving person and a caring person. I referred to Honorable Lubinda. I said he's a gentleman, perfect gentleman. And he grew up in a Christian family. They went to church and so on. So I was telling people, I said, let's bring our families to church so that we glorify God. And God also rewards us with the right values. And tomorrow somebody says, Lungu was a waster. Now, I am saying to you that my waste is far much better than what we have. Far much better. You can talk about all these things. You can go into agriculture. You can go into everything, including exchange rates. You can go into price of meal meal. Edgar stands head and shoulder above what you're experiencing now. I don't have to say it, but I'm not here to say that because it's like now I'm taking... Don't mention Edgar about this because Edgar will react. This gentleman is still interested in whether I'm standing. and I hope you will find sleep because there are many who are sleepless about that question. But let me answer it. You see, the will of the party, people should be reflected. And that's why we are fighting for democracy. And I cannot impose myself on the people. But if the people impose me on the ballot paper, who am I to say no? That's how it works. I am in PF, and I came back in PF to make sure that there is order in PF, there is democracy in PF. And I promise that the PF will be put on the rails again. And that's what I'm doing. And I hope that as we go, probably we'll find a leader in PF. And if people say, continue, I'm just a servant. But if they say, no, step down, I think let's go for the conference and choose a new leader, I'll go. And I'll support one of them. Whoever we merge, we merge. But what I said was that Zambia is bigger than PF. Zambia is bigger than Edgar Lungu. And in my cry on 28th of October 2023, I said all political parties in opposition, I even singled out names. I said, let's work together. And this is where we are now. We are back on the drawing board. And the drawing board is going to start from today going on. We've had meetings with colleagues who are in the opposition.